Greetings, peace, and love to you all. Gratitude to Source for everything, all there is. This video is going to be like titled The Awareness of Mental Health Awareness. Which I know is kind of going to be the theme for the years or the moments to come. Being that I speak about this is that first let me give honor to the ancestors, spirit guides, and give honor to the patriarchal, the matriarchal, to the harm, to the good of all, to the harm of none. Ashe. And for you, most importantly, for all of you that will be guided to this video, I'm currently, I just thought about that. You may hear they're doing construction below. So, literally feel the vibration up in. Alrighty then. Well, this is gonna be authentic, so because it just is what it is. But that's another thing about life, distractions. In a world full of distractions, can you stay focused on the task at hand? And none of this is happening like literally before I was gonna do this video. Hey, I just need like a good 10, 15 minutes, man. But anywho, let's see if I can play this. Anywho, no, I'll leave it right there. Mental health awareness, wow. You know what, this actually is great because of that's happening, because it pretty much brings into the awareness of life, of how important we can stay calm in the storm. Like, can you be in the eye of the storm, but also realize that in your silence, in your honoring your emotions, in your breathing, in your taking accountability, accepting accountability for your own actions, can you see the importance of your mental health? I recently encountered someone I haven't saw, or a childhood friend, or someone that I recently spoke to, and the topic that I keep receiving is how there are those that are so consumed by their status, career status, financial status, career revolving around like being more there for others. And I feel like this is what a lot of school has really, in society, and the programming and conditioning has affected so many humans, or affected so many people, because it never really taught people the importance of mental wellness. Why is people behavior the way it is? What is really going on? And if you see the narrative now, what can be so interesting when you see social media, it's like when I observe and see social media, because I see it from an observer, I realize, I'm like, wow. I look beyond just when I'm watching a movie or watching social media or I see stuff. It's like, is it watching me or am I watching it? So when I'm looking at these things, I'm like, well, for one, what is their life without social media? Not that it's none of my business, but it's like, what is beyond that? And I don't think a lot of us really question these things. Is that what makes you assume that people that maybe have material things may seem that they may have more than this, may seem that they may have more financially than you have when it comes to your bank account. But what makes you think that illness or sickness or disease or whatever it is doesn't exist in their reality, in the fact of like their family? What makes you assume that a crackhead, a drunk, or someone who is battling drug abuse, physical abuse, what makes you assume that this isn't a part of their reality? And once we as a people, humanity, or like really sit down, and because that's the thing we haven't been doing. A lot of us don't know the reality because we're so obligated to judge someone or throw a stone and hide their hand. And in reality, no one really knows what goes on with other people unless they're physically experiencing in a sense of, what their experiences. And the reason I bring this up about the mental health is because I see not only men as myself, I see a lot of dark men, melanated men, and women. And this is why I fucking love what I do, is because, yeah, I see people talk about it on social media, but a lot of which, even though you don't see what I do outside of this, my journey, I'm grateful for my journey because I realize how important it is to switch roles or see myself in other people. Am I accountable for their pain and hurt and their baggage? No. But that also was a journey in the process to learn how not to do that because of the survival instinct that a lot of us have been conditioned and programmed with. Trying to carry mom, father, family baggage into our own journey in reality, thinking that we have to be responsible for them spiritually, mentally, and financially. I've had talks with people who have said like they came into a lot of money or experienced a lot of things, and due to them not having more awareness of their mental health, being at peace or being at a place where they're secure within, they live with regrets. And not to say all, but you can tell that better choices could have been made. Because what I'm saying is this: the reason I speak about spiritual security or spiritual currency so much is because we're here to do something different. And a lot of things when we speak on mental health is that spiritual currency and spiritual security is the value, is the point of knowing how to be secure in your emotions, honoring your emotions, honoring your anger, your your shortcomings, or honoring the aspect of yourself, the emotional aspect of yourself. And this is what honestly connects and makes us who we are as, a part of this human experience. So if these things aren't taught or, learned and or shared, then now what you're seeing globally around the world is that it's like a bunch of people like chickens running with their head cut off. I recently had someone I grew up with who I literally had a fucking face to face with, man. Like literally. And I walked up to him. We saw each other. He was like, "Man, I love you." I was like, "I love you too, bro." And he was just telling me about his circumstances. He was telling me about how he was going through, anything like we all are going through, spiritual warfare, going through circumstances in life. He was telling me how his mom transitioned and passed like maybe 2 or 3 years prior, and just listening to him express. And this is another thing that, again, with mental health, is I'm learning is that listening is very important. I had to learn this on my journey. Instead of always wanting to be heard, which is just my inner child wanting to be heard and express, to get it out, because so many of us hold shit in, and this is through survival tactics. This is through fear of not, fear of not being heard and accepted in a way, or fear of, in a way to where people aren't able to say and do things because of the consequences that they may face. So a lot of which you see in these communities, people are expressing from a place of pain and hurt. And so when I was listening to him, I realized he just wanted to be heard. And so he began to express how he was trying to get away from a relationship. And I can just, body language, he was just trying to get away. And from my understanding of what I comprehend is that he expressed how it was abusive, and verbal abuse is just as effective as verbal abuse is connected to our mental, which is connected to our spiritual, which is connected to, which also breeds physical abuse. A lot of this shit is connected. And he talks about how, trying to start fresh. He was trying to go to the shelter because, just trying to make a change in his life. And I said, man, you know what? Do what's best for you. Sometimes, like, we have to realize and this is from my own experiences, that we have grown up in households and grown up in environments where the only seeds or that's been planted in our minds are thousands and hundreds of thousands of no, you can't do this, really no, and you're not capable, or you're not this. And a lot of it, a lot of the mental abuse we've experienced, depending on the environment we were in, has come from those who say they loved us, those who say that they would never hurt us. And hearing it from our mothers and grandmothers and fathers and people who, once you get to that place on your journey, you realize these people never knew love because they never loved themselves. They actually never knew what it was to sit with their emotions, what it is to acknowledge their part in their story and their journey on their, path. Yet they only project and onto others their fears and shortcomings and use it as an abuse of power, manipulation, and control, in this process fighting their own spiritual warfare. So I'm listening to the brother, and then, he said, man, I may have to go to the shelter. And I said, man, you know what, do what's best for you, because you know what, how are you gonna learn, And he expressed to me how, he told me how when his mom passed, he was trying to bounce back. He was trying to get his life in order, and I realized how much it hurt him, being that his mother wasn't there. So he expressed to me the relationship he was in, and then what you see a lot of in the community, especially in the melanated communities, or people that, again, this happens everywhere, in all cultures and places and environments, is that the human experience, or the some people's human nature, depending on their environment, have what they've learned and received and visualized their life to be from their parental guidance or from the guardians that they have. They live that out through adulthood, and a lot of which that's the only thing they know. They only know how to receive what they perceive as love in an abusive way, in an abusive narrative. And so this only leads to self-destruction, because I myself, and seeing the people in the communities, know that this is a normal thing, or this is a thing that is more comfortable to people who haven't actually received guidance or help, or had people to nurture them, or haven't had parents or people, or mothers or fathers to provide a safe, secure, healthy, peaceful environment. So he began to say, like, man, I'm gonna go to the shelter and do this. I said, man, you know what, you got it, bro. You can do this. And so what happened recently, maybe a day or two ago, word got to me that he was actually shot in the head by the partner that he was with, and he recently passed. You can have so many different perceptions or perspective and opinions on this. Some people saying like it's a loss, or some people can say he deserved it. Some people can say this and that, but I do know that it was an abusive altercation, and the sister got tired, and that was her. As I would tell people, when you're dealing with emotional intelligence, or with people that are secure, that would be my perception, an emotional reaction rather than an emotional response or healthy response. So when I heard, and I was just like, I just talked to him, and then I had to take in consideration, I myself was in situations in the past as such, and I'm grateful to be able to share with y'all today, like, the importance of mental health. It's easy to say, I can tell you, oh, go get help. But sometimes I'll tell myself, I can offer, this is my offering, this is my service, is what I do when I speak on this fucking platform. It's like, sometimes I get it, some people don't know how. And then I try to put the narrative together, the pieces together, like, why would he do that? Why would she do that? Then there's a child in the fucking mix that doesn't have now a father or a mother, because I don't know what's the outcome of the circumstances with, the mother. So, And then the bigger picture of that is another father that's gone without the picture, that has something to offer to the world. Not fucking through basketball and football. This is why I talk about this, because you never know who you're inspiring. I couldn't judge that man for what he did. Who am I to judge anyone for the circumstances that they're living? Because I don't know what goes on behind their doors. I don't know what's happening. I got to take into account for what I'm doing and my purpose and my mission here. So why would I be concerned about, really putting too much energy in what other people are doing, but doing what I can to offer my services? If I can just spark one mind, the youth that's going through mental abuse, the younger ones, the teenagers, even the kids that are crying out so desperately to be loved, to be embraced, to be hugged, because the mental health shit is really gonna be a crisis here. People are really crying out inside. Not to mention, when that happened, it's that I kind of knew I put myself there because my mother went through that. And then I experienced in that. I was grateful enough to let go of the cycle, to release that spirit of confusion and chaos, to release that idea of that was love, and it's not. I knew what that brother was going through. And it's not about the sympathy, it's the compassion for the little princess that grows up without a father. And then a mother that has to grieve another mother. This happens everywhere, and I tell people, man, speak up. We're been in an environment where it's been so selfish about, selfish more than selfless. It's a balance. It's about being neutral. Me offering my services and speaking this I know it's going to help someone walk away from something, whether you have $1, $2, or whatever it is, but it's your peace of mind that you're going to have when you realize that that's you truly walking in your power. When you walk away from a marriage, or when you walk away from a situation knowing that it's okay to love yourself. Even if you don't know what that looks like, but it's still okay. It'll be revealed to you. It's okay to be around genuine people. It's okay to be in the presence of yourself. It's okay to be with yourself until others come along that know the importance of loving yourself, being with self, honoring emotions, being in healthy connections, actually speaking healthy to yourself. Because of peace of mind, inner peace, spiritual currency is going to be so valuable during these times where you're going to see the world or see people. It's like they're losing their mind because they never knew who they were without what's been given to them. So this is to you, to those that will watch. Take a moment. I know you're going through a lot and you want to help the world, but when are you going to help yourself? When are you going to listen to that nudge that tells you, you know what? I just need to go, take a mental wellness or mental vacation. I just need to just not hear from people. I've had to do that. I recently had to go through stuff with family where I had to, it's not so much cut ties, but yes, it is. It's releasing the narrative that they have to have access to me, or they have to know where I'm at, or they have to know all these things. It's like a monitoring spirit. You have to know this, so, this idea to where, like, it's like a stronghold, but in reality, You're freeing yourself when you realize that you don't have to be a part of the dysfunction anymore. You don't have to walk away and not realize like, so what if if it's $5 or $10 I just have the faith that I know everything's gonna be taken care of. I was given gifts to know that doors are gonna come and opportunities are gonna come. I am financially abundant. I am, most importantly, I am secure within myself to know that everything is beautiful, it's divine. Everything is happening and unfolding divinely. A lot of the men out here, women, are so, you're not just tired. Mothers, women, you're not the only one that's tired. We are connected to mama, the fathers, the sons, which we come from, the mothers, the great-grandmothers. We are also, some people are tired mentally. They're giving up. And it's okay. I was telling someone it's okay to give up. And giving up isn't a sense of like, wanting to harm yourself. And for those of you that feel like if you're at that part where you want to, that place of suicidal, I want you to take in consideration, because I was there before, take in consideration of the legacy. You are loved. You are received. You are beautiful. You have something to offer to this world. I was there. I know the feeling. But your consistency, your resilience shall inspire someone by you speaking up. Even if you don't have to speak, you can write a book. You can do something to where you inspire someone through your art, through your music, through anything that can touch the heart for the youth. This is why I do it. Because I'm just a vessel being used. Because I cannot hold on to this information. Because I want the youth to know the truth about it's important for you to know the value of your peace, know the value of who you are, the value that you are more than your environment. You are more than what your mother and father and all these people, they're hurting. You are much more than what the world, school, universities, degrees, whatever it is. You are much more than these things. Just take a moment. Take a moment and breathe. I'm still blowing out my book because I'm still clearing out, but I feel much better. But sometimes just look at the world. Take a moment, take 5 minutes, whatever it is. Just take a moment and just sit back and just, when you breathe, it's inhale through your nose, stick your stomach out because your lungs expand, and you just continuously do that. Or however you feel. Take a moment, man. I can feel you all. Take a moment. Go into that corner. Go in. If you at work right now, wherever you are, go into that corner. You don't gotta tell people. But if you feel led, tell someone. This is happening around the world. People are seeing the importance of their fucking mental health, people. These jobs, these schools, these governments, these people, they don't care about you until you care about you. I need you to care about you. What do you mean? That's crazy. No, yes, I do. I need you to care about you, because I care about me. Because if it's anything that I learned out here in this world, in this place, in this environment, this reality, is that you have to take care of you. You have to be there for you. Some moments you have to walk through doors that family, friends, other people are not invited. This is not to brag and boast and make it seem like, oh, you're receiving something that they're not. But in reality, yes, you are receiving something. That's called a peace of mind. That's called inner peace. So when the world seems like it's falling apart outside of you, you hold on to that peace. You realize you are the eye within the hurricane. And everything outside of that may seem like it's changing and falling apart, but it's also realize that the importance of you being the eye inside of the hurricane is that everything around you is always changing, it's always shifting. There's always going to be chaos around you in the sense of like things changing, only to be what? Dismantling, only to be created anew. But you being centered is showing that you are secure within. See, a lot of our youth have been so conditioned and fucked up by a lot of, what these so-called parents or guardians who aren't aware the importance of mental health and realizing that a lot of them aren't getting this until what? They're in their 30s and 40s and 50s after they don't got, been in marriages and after they took on this false, illusion, and now they're in delusion, realizing that all these things that they accumulated, house, the money, all these things, yet where's their peace of mind? Did you marry? Did you get into that partnership? Did you sign that contract? Did you take that job or whatever it is, opportunity? First of all, did you have a fucking peace of mind before you did that? Did you really sit with your emotions? I'm saying this to let y'all know that you can ever, you won't ever be dissatisfied when you are fulfilled within, when you are at peace within. When you know that you've been holding on to a relationship or a connection or an idea of love or, something for way too long. It's time to cut those cords. It's time to walk away. It's a moment now to choose you. And in choosing you, you will reflect to your kids and in your actions of loving yourself. Because a lot of mothers, a lot of women, that you don't even have to tell me, it's what's not said, that are on the brink of mental breakdowns. Because they've been having to carry so much of the load. A lot of men too. Because there's a lot of things they don't talk about. And then you're in environments where, again, it's demonized and it's fraternized or whatever words you want to use, that when you try to speak up and speak your truth, it's brushed up under the rug. Look at your societies, look at your government, look at all. This is why this shit is falling apart. It's because humanity is choosing themselves now. I love it. I fucking love it. This is the Aquarian age when we need to come together and realize the importance of, like, a robot can't replace your emotions. What do you think the phone is used for? Are you using the phone? Is it using you? A lot of stuff we're purging people. Emotional eating. Trying to find things to cope with our grieving of the passing of others and not knowing how to do those things, not knowing money management because of the fact that a lot of us grew up in survival tactics. So a lot of which I've seen is how emotionally attached money can be. People can be to it rather than knowing how to use it for the betterment of self and others. Seeing how the survival tactics have affected so many to use people rather than use the money. So they love the idea of the material things more than they love themselves and people. This is the mental health. Nothing's gonna change until people take into account that you first have to change. So, gotta go get my tea. So, this is like to the mothers, to everyone, man. You are loved and appreciated beyond measures. You have I say these things because I'm guided to do